Welcome to this short induction activity on note-making skills. So this activity will introduce you to a form of note-taking called the Cornell Method, and you'll have an opportunity to learn a little bit more about it and then try it out yourself. So the Cornell Method is associated with an American university, and it was developed in the 1940s, but it's become a really popular way of making notes, particularly in higher education. So the key gist of this strategy is that you divide your page of notes into three. So the biggest section on the right hand side, illustrated in this image, is for notes that you take synchronously while the lecturer is delivering information to you. So as you're sitting watching a PowerPoint or listening to a lecture, you take notes as you go of the key bits of information. As you are taking these notes though, you are simultaneously collecting keywords or key comments on the left-hand margin, which you've extended on your page, which you see in that middle image on the slide. So any keywords, any particularly important information, any questions as you're listening to the lecture which you would like to have clarified later on, you would put on the left-hand side. Then the final part of taking effective notes according to the Cornell Method is that at the end you would make yourself a summary at the bottom of the key takeaway information from the notes that you made synchronously during the lecture. So the idea of this method is that it aids memory retention because it encourages you to be more of an active learner than a passive learner. Rather than just you sitting letting the information wash over you, you're actively doing something to recall and retain that information. And it's really good academic skill development, so it's transferable between topics, between units, between modules. If you can get into this mode of taking notes, it's something that can make your learning more effective at whatever level you are studying. So the study system in full, it encourages you to recite back your notes after you've made notes using this method, then reflect on them. Recapitulate just means to put them into another format, and then review your notes afterwards. So it's a whole study sort of concept, and learners who engage with the Cornell Method often get really into it and achieve really positive results through studying in this way. So your task is going to be to watch the following short video. You're going to take notes on the Cornell Method, but you're going to use the Cornell Method to do it. So either in your learner induction book, if you find the note-taking skills box, or if you're making notes on paper, if you just split your page into three, so in this way, so have a wide section on the right hand side, a narrow section on the left, and then if you rule off at the bottom for your summary page. After you've done this, the video is about 5 minutes long, you're going to compare your notes with someone else and see how you both manage to use the Cornell Method differently. Think about if this is something that could work for you.
Cornell Notes are a helpful study tool in class, while reading a textbook, or when using online resources. Writing key information down as you learn will help you retain more. How do you use Cornell Notes in a variety of learning environments? You can modify the Cornell note-taking system to match your learning situation and needs. The Notes section is where you write down what the professor says and what she puts on the board, but you don't need to write down every word. Useful notes capture both the gist of what's being said and the important details. Using abbreviations and symbols can help you keep up. If you're learning from a video or online text, treat it just like class and write down the information you think you'll need to know. Different online resources have different options for taking notes. find out what's available and what will work best for you. Students use the Q section for all kinds of questions and comments. Traditionally, the Q column of Cornell Notes is used after you take your notes. This is the place where students add questions that will help them remember or organize the material. Using the Q section idea for textbook reading can help you identify what you still need to study more. With many online textbooks, you can use a comments or notes feature that will allow you to do your notes and Q questions online, or just use regular paper. One of the best things about using Cornell Notes is that it gives you the opportunity to keep your brain active in several different ways. Some students find it helpful to use the Q and note columns simultaneously. Write down what you need to learn while you're thinking analytically at the same time. Some students find the standard Cornell Notes setup doesn't give them enough room, so they open their notebook to a new page for each class. They use the whole width of the page for their notes section and the back page of notes from the last class for their Q section. If you're given class slides ahead of time, you can just draw a line to make an area for regular notes and a Q area. Using the Q column for your questions while you are writing more factual notes in the notes section is a powerful learning tool. This kind of thinking can help you stay active during a lecture or class. The summary is the place where, if someone asks, "What did you learn today?" you can tell them in just a few sentences. The summary can be challenging, but don't skip it. The ability to go back and forth from details to the big picture will help you learn, and is a great skill to have for school, work, and life. Taking facts and distilling them into main ideas is a powerful learning tool. You're making your brain digest what the professor said, and you're transforming it into your own knowledge. Try to get to the summary soon after class, while the information is still fresh in your head. Looking back at your summary before the next class is a good way to see connections throughout the semester. You can use any part of the Cornell note-taking system, no matter how you're learning the material. Taking notes on the information helps you remember it better than just listening or reading. Asking yourself questions about what you are learning keeps your brain active and activates higher-level thinking beyond just memorizing. It lets you apply, analyze, and evaluate what you are learning. Summarizing makes you go from details to the big picture. Try out Cornell Notes and learn what works for you.